Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Foxy and my little fox cub is taking a nap. So I thought this would be a perfect opportunity to do a nice sit down video and fill you in on where I'm at the moment. So this video is going to be about why I have chosen to go to a more intuitive style of eating and to ditch the diet, ditch the scales, stop weighing myself, and why I've decided to do that. I thought, why not bring you along on my journey, because a lot of you have followed me on Twitter and Instagram from the start, from where I was kind of like just your average kind of girl, average gym goer, cardio bunny, then to weightlifting, to then taking it one step further. I went on to competing in bodybuilding in the bikini division. I competed in the UK and abroad. Then some of you stuck around. I got pregnant, so you saw my bump getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and then you followed me on my postpartum journey. So naturally I shrunk down, I lost the bump and lost some of the baby weight. I'm now 10 months-ish postpartum, and finally I've decided to go with the flow and go with this intuitive style of eating. So I'm not really an expert of what intuitive eating is, but what it means to me is, for so many years now, I've always been on a diet for as long as I can remember. And especially when you do bodybuilding, it's kind of taking diet to an extreme level. So not everybody has to do it this way, but for me, I'm not naturally a really lean person. My body's quite curvy, and for me to get to stage and stage leanness, which most people would have to do, is weigh out every single piece of food that you're eating. You tend to eat a high protein diet and then medium carbs, lowish fats. Apart from my last show when I competed abroad, I did play around with the keto diet, which I really loved. So that was high fat and pretty much zero carbs and quite low protein. So I'm used to literally weighing out my food every single day, and it's just habit. Not everyone would do this, but for instance, when I've gone on holiday, I've always took my own food and I've took my scales with me so that I could weigh things. And it just becomes a bit, I wouldn't like to say like an obsession, but it's definitely a habit, because when you start doing those things every single day, every single meal, then for years and years, it just becomes a habit. So even like when I was pregnant and postpartum, I was still weighing out my meals. And to some extent, I really did enjoy it. I like macro tracking and tracking my meals. But one of the reasons why I want to go into intuitive eating, which is more about eating what your body's craving. So it's not an excuse. It's not like, okay, I'm intuitive eating, so that means I can have Domino's for dinner, cookies all day long, like go out to a pub for pub breakfast, and lunch I'll order Wagamama's. It's not like that. Like for me, I really enjoy eating healthy, nutritious food that is nourishing me. But it's more about letting go of like the guilt towards food. So if your body really is craving a slice of pizza, then you don't need to feel guilty about one slice of pizza. And if at the weekend you've made a cake for your family, go ahead, have a slice of that cake you've made. It's more about letting go of like the good and bad foods and completely letting go of restrictions. So one of the biggest changes for me will be getting rid of the kitchen scales. I will keep them for when I want to make a recipe, and obviously you need to know 100 grams of flour, etc. But I'm not going to be weighing out or tracking any of my food. I feel like intuitive eating for an ex-bodybuilder will be very different to your average person, because as a bodybuilder that literally has tracked food day in, day out for years, I can eyeball a food and tell you how many calories is in it, how many grams of protein is in it, carbs, fat, you name it. Whereas I'm guessing the average just gym goer or average person isn't going to be able to look at a food and know its nutritional breakdown. So I feel like even though I'm not weighing out my food, when I'm pouring out my oats, say, I know roughly what a 40-gram portion is, and I know obviously when I'm making my lunch, oh, I haven't got any protein here. But it's more about letting go of the restrictions and allowing myself to eat what I fancy more often, and just not obsessing about weighing every single thing. So one of the reasons why I want to do it is it does become a bit exhausting weighing out and macro tracking everything. Even though I enjoyed it because I'm that kind of person, it does get a bit exhausting mentally, always thinking about food, thinking about when's my next meal. I do believe it makes you hungrier because you'll have it set out what you're going to eat. If you're either macro tracking or following a meal plan, you'll eat your breakfast and then instantly it's like, okay, what's the next snack or what's for lunch? And you just become food obsessed and you're always thinking about food, and it does become exhausting, and I don't think it's particularly normal. Also, you get that guilt then. So I'd set myself, I'm not saying everybody's like this is just personally how I felt. So say I was on 1,500, 1,600 calories, sometimes higher, sometimes lower. Once I've had that for the day, if I went over, I would start feeling guilty, or I'd feel like, no, I've had my calories for the day, I can't go over. But you know, in life, you're going to have days where you are hungrier than other days when you don't have much of an appetite. So some days I might have been forcing myself to eat those calories because it's like, oh, I have to eat them because they're there. And then other days I might be starving but find it normal. Okay, I've ate my calories for the day, so I better just fill up on black coffee to keep me full. And I don't really like that mentality. I'd rather just eat when I'm hungry, don't eat when I'm not hungry. But I'm not slating competing or dieting. It's just weighing up what's going to make me feel happier right now. It's also pretty exhausting always weighing yourself. So I didn't always have like an emotional response to what I saw on the scales. Some days I could step on the scales and if my weight had gone up, it is what it is. Other days, you know, the weeks where you've literally done all you possibly can and the scale doesn't move, it can kind of ruin your whole day, and you kind of think, oh, what's the point? But obviously as a woman, you know, with your hormones and even down to what time you ate your last meal the night before, like your weight can go up and down all day long, all from day to day. So you shouldn't let it control your emotions. And for me, I just wanted to have a break from always knowing how much I weigh. So for me, even though I was a bodybuilder and enjoy keeping fit, obviously everybody in the world likes to look good. You want to feel your best. But I'm not lying when I say I'm happier at a bigger size, happier at a smaller size, happier in between. I don't mind how my body looks at all the different stages, and I love going to the gym, etc., because you can manipulate, okay, I want my shoulders to look a bit bigger, let's do these exercises. So it is like aesthetically to me why I was dieting and why I was keeping fit, but my happiness level doesn't really change from how I look. So I just thought, what is the point in getting sad when I stand on the scales and seeing it go up or down when I'm happy with how I look? Why do I need to know how much I weigh? So my partner has hidden the scales somewhere. We have tried this before. He used to take the batteries out and I used to just buy more batteries. But this time I'm trying to stick to it and I have no idea where the scales are. So another reason why I want to try intuitive eating and not restricting so much is for health reasons. So we all know competing is an extreme sport. This doesn't happen to everyone, and it happens to athletes that aren't competitors and people that go to the gym. It happens to lots of people, but it's quite common for competitors to lose their periods, their menstrual cycle if they're a female. And so this happened to me way, way, way before I even made it to stage. But it was at the start of my fitness journey, really, when I started taking it really seriously. So around 2016, 2017, I lost my periods, and from going to the doctors and the consultants, it was basically because I was eating too little and exercising too much. At the time, I wasn't interested in having babies, etc. And I didn't think about all the other health problems that come with it, like your bone health, your hormones are all out of whack. So I just carried on dieting. Whereas now, obviously, I've got my little fox cub, which we still have no idea how I got pregnant because I never had a period. It's just like been a bit of a wake-up call that I want to live like a long and healthy life for my baby, and you don't feel great when your hormones are all out of whack. So I'd kind of just like to get them all back on track. I am currently still breastfeeding, so my periods still haven't come back, but obviously I don't know if that is because of breastfeeding or because of dieting, etc. So I'm just want to try and do everything I can so that when I stop breastfeeding, that I stand a chance of getting my menstrual cycle back, which I'll go into that in a different video. And just, yeah, I don't think it's healthy. This isn't for everyone. This is just how I feel personally. I don't think it's healthy to be so obsessive about weighing food, not allowing yourself a treat, being so goddamn obsessed about how you look, like putting that above other things. I think obviously having a baby is a massive like wake-up call, and my priorities have really changed. And then it's just not healthy for your body really to restrict yourself from different food groups, etc. Another reason why I want to go down this route is if you follow me, you might know that my little baby has loads of food allergies, which we hope he will grow out of. So his diet is quite restricted as it is, and the last thing I want is for him to grow up and see me weighing out all my food and never eating a cupcake, etc., really restricting myself, because his diet is so restricted as it is because of his allergies. I don't want him to get an unhealthy relationship with food because of me. So that was a big factor. Again, obviously this is just personal to me. I'm not anti-competing, I'm not anti-dieting really. I'm not like, I don't want people to take this the wrong way and think that I'm saying bad things about my old coach, because she's a really close friend to me and I love her dearly and always will. And it was obviously all down to me why I was feeling this way, and I could have just carried on dieting and over-exercising, etc. But I just had to do what would make me happy. I think we've all realised as well, we've had a year of lockdown. We've had so many restrictions put upon us. We can't go out for food, can't go to the cinema, can't see our friends, can't see our family. Like, we literally can't do anything apart from going for a walk and staying in your house. And I just feel like life, it's been like just a light bulb moment, sorry, that life is too short. And we've had all these restrictions put upon ourselves for a year, which, yeah, in the grand scheme of things is just a year of your life. But that's one whole year of your life where we haven't been able to travel, haven't been able to make memories with our friends and family. And I just think, why do I want to put more restrictions on myself when things open up? I want to be excited to go out for meals with people. I want to be excited to have little coffee dates with my friends, go for picnics with my mum and baby friends, without constantly thinking about food. So for me, it was always like, if I got invited out for dinner, I would have to look at the menu for like days, weeks beforehand, thinking, oh my God, what can I eat? I remember going to a hen party and I just ordered plain salad and they put a dressing on it and it was like, World War III, why have you put a dressing on my salad? I remember going for like to celebrate an engagement meal and I asked the chef just to cook me 2 crumpets instead of like just ordering like a normal meal. It used to give me anxiety and stress me out, and I don't want to be like that. I want to enjoy special occasions. I'm not saying if you compete you can't do that, because that was all in my head. Especially in off season, you can do what you want, have cheat meals. A lot of people have cheat meals while they're in prep. I was just wanting to stick. I think I had a bit of that thing where I just wanted to eat clean foods and be able to track every single thing. Like I said, it was getting obsessive. So yeah, I want to enjoy social events. And lastly, I'm not very good at it, but I love cooking, love baking, love having fun with food. Like, I literally, my favourite thing is to watch YouTube and watch other fitness and health people make recipes, and then go and create them myself, put a little Charlotte Foxy twist on it. And I want to do that without thinking, okay, how can I make this macro friendly? Okay, this one I like, but I'll save it to the weekend because it's a bit too high in carbs, etc. I want to just go for it and make what I want. So yeah, I think food is fuel. Food should be fun. And that's completely where I'm at. So I've done 1 week so far. I am going to update you after 4 weeks how I'm getting on. And I do want to stick to it. So just basically, yeah, I just want to be able to eat as a family as well sometimes, instead of having my own separate food. Sometimes I cook for my partner and it looks really yummy, and I'm like, oh, I better not have that, or stick to my normal food. Just want to eat together more often. And yeah, I just want to be happy. I feel like I'll be happier if I'm not weighing all my food. So yeah, hope you found that interesting. Let me know what you think. And just for the record, not slating competing, not slating dieting, not slating my old coach, just doing me.